If you're excited to hear more about how to prioritize so that you can make your life easier, go ahead and like this video. And if you want more information about how to have more personal growth, overcome obstacles, or stay motivated, then hit subscribe because I release videos just like that every week on Thursday. Now, every now and then, with all the chaos that you may have in your life, you might be struggling to figure out what comes next. Maybe you feel confused at times about which way to go. Well, setting priorities and choosing what you value most is easier than you think. Did you know that you're already doing it every single solitary day? When you choose to go shopping for a new purse or a pair of shoes instead of paying your electricity bill, you're setting a priority. You are essentially saying, I place more value on my appearance than I do taking care of my household. You are in fact setting a priority. So, based on some of the choices that you've made this week alone, what are your priorities saying? You're going to have to really sit down and think about this, and I know it won't be a huge amount of fun. It never is when you have to face the ugly truth about some of the decisions that you're making. But setting your life priorities and figuring out what you value will make your life much easier. Let's keep it real. We're all facing a lot of change. We're all dealing with inflation. Some people's jobs are changing completely, and others are going right back into the office after having worked from home for the last 2 years. So with all that change, we are going to need to adjust our priorities to match our current situation. When you're struggling to determine what's important to you, it's hard to make a decision. If you're feeling torn between two or more people, places, or things, it's common if you haven't yet identified what your priorities are if you got so much going on. After all, when you consider everything and everyone in your life, and you're making them all equal in terms of their level of importance, it's going to be tough to choose what you need to do next. But once you determine what your priorities are, several things will happen for you. You'll be more pleased with the ease of making decisions and the serenity and peace that comes with knowing that you did the right thing or you made the right choice. Establishing priorities also gives you clearer focus on how to spend your time. If you allot the bulk of your time to doing what's most important with the most important people in your life, what might your priorities be? The possibilities are endless. In this list below, you'll find many of the common priorities in no particular order. How would you prioritize this list? Talking on the phone, watching television, personal appearance, family, finances, friends, playing games on the internet, extended family, work, hobbies, health and physical exercise and activities, nutritious eating, alone time, quality time with your partner. How would you prioritize those kinds of things? The whole idea of setting priorities is to put your life in order and to put the things that mean the most to you at the top. Knowing what your highest priorities are in the list will help you be more focused and make wiser decisions that are right for you and your family. Setting your priorities in life may take time and effort. However, taking the time to reflect on your day-to-day life and determine what's at the top of your list will make your life so much easier. And once your priorities are clear to you, decisions on how to spend your time and who to spend your time with will be a cinch. Here's an example. I'd like you to do this with me so that you can get a chance to practice on how to prioritize. Here's the example. Tina's best friend calls her to go out on the town, and she says she'll pick her up at 7. In the middle of that conversation, her son says,
Mommy, can we make cookies tonight after dinner?
Tina responds to her son and says, Not tonight, honey. We can do it tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. So fill in the blanks. Take into account Tina's actions. Put it down in the blanks. Tina is saying what is a priority over what? Put your answers down in the comments, if you would. This is a pretty extreme example, but I'm sure you're faced with choices like that every day. It'd be much easier for you to make decisions if you know in advance what's most important and what decisions reflect things that you value. Doing this activity will reveal some things that will shock you and surprise you. For example, you might realize you're spending most of your time hanging out with friends, even though you tell everybody that your family is more important. or you aren't taking as much care with your kids as you thought you were, or you say money is tight. Girl, I ain't got a dime. But then you realize after having done this activity that you've been spending money carelessly on things that don't support you and what you say you value. Regardless of what you discover that you weren't expecting, setting your priorities now will help you limit or even remove the less important elements of your life and enable you to focus more fully on what means most to you. So, if you're ready, let's get started. It's time to do a brain dump. A wise person once said, if you do nothing, nothing will happen. So after you list all of the things that you need to do, take action. Put each task in a category. Something that has to be done today, something that has to be done this week, done this month, or done this year. Now, before doing that, I need you to consider a few things. So it'll be a lot easier to know what category that each task belongs in. How much time will it take to complete the task? And do any of those have deadlines or due dates? And how will you accomplish the task? Is there a learning curve that you have? Meaning, do you even know how to do what you need to do, or do you have to get some skill set in order to finish the task? Because that's going to take some time. Here's an example of what your paper should look like. Keep in mind when choosing each category, place your items in order. Consider the length of time that it will take you to complete them. For example, if you're taking your son to practice, you know that he's got practice today, you put it in the today column. If you have a training and it's due by the end of the week, then you put it in the week column. If you're painting your living room, and that can happen at any point this month, put it in the month column. And if you're paying off a credit card and you think it's possible that you can have it done this year, then put it in the year column. Anyway, once you put each item in their category and you've prioritized them, you're going to feel less overwhelmed. I will never leave you hanging when it comes to having a solid path to your success. Click on the link down in the description. There will be a free handout that won't cost you a thing. I will be providing additional information to help you be successful with your prioritization. And the other added benefit that is not included in this video are tools to avoid procrastination. Go ahead and check that out in the description. At the end of the day, knowing what's important to you and devoting your time to those things that are at the top of your list will ensure you have a rich and fulfilling life. So start setting your priorities today. And as always, I'll see you next Thursday.